Last time. Athens at its height, and the Peloponnesian War. Greece exhausted itself. While Greece exhausted itself, a kingdom to the north was growing in power. Macedonia. Greeks considered this northern kingdom half barbaric. Yet it would change the world. History Episode 17. Classical Era. Alexander. In 356 BC, in Pella, the capital of Macedonia, a son was born to King Philip II. Part 1. Philip II and the making of Macedonia. Philip II, Alexander's father, transformed Macedonia into the most powerful military state in Greece. Philip's innovation was the Sarissa, a 6-meter pike that made the Macedonian phalanx the most powerful tactical unit in Greece. At Chaeronea in 338 BC, the Greek city-states fell before Macedonia. At Chaeronea, the 18-year-old Alexander led the cavalry himself, winning his first victory beside his father. Part 2. Becoming king. Alexander studied under Aristotle for 3 years from 343 BC. Philosophy, medicine, literature, strategy. In 336 BC, Philip II was assassinated. Alexander took the throne at 20 years old. Revolts followed. Alexander destroyed Thebes completely as a warning to all of Greece. Part 3. The Persian Campaign. In 334 BC, Alexander crossed the Hellespont with 35,000 men toward Persia. The Granicus River. The first battle. Persian cavalry and Greek mercenaries held the far bank. At Issus in 333 BC, Darius III led his army himself. Alexander's charge broke them. Darius fled. His mother, queen, and children became Alexander's captives. He treated them as royalty. Egypt, 332 BC. The Persian governor surrendered without resistance. Egyptians welcomed Alexander as a liberator. Alexander founded a city in Egypt bearing his name. Alexandria would one day become the center of the world's knowledge. Gaugamela, 331 BC. Darius had assembled a new army on a wider plain, with greater numbers. Part 4. Into the heart of Persia. At Gaugamela, Darius fled again. The Persian Empire had effectively collapsed. Susa, Persepolis. Alexander took the capitals of the Persian Empire one by one. In 330 BC, Persepolis burned. Whether deliberate or accidental, historians debate it still. Darius III was killed by his own men. Alexander gave him a royal Persian burial. Part 5. To the edge of the world. Alexander did not stop. Central Asia, Bactria, Sogdia. He kept moving east. This was more than conquest. Alexander sought to blend Greek and Eastern cultures, wearing Persian dress and adopting Persian customs. His Macedonian officers hated this. They raged that Alexander was becoming an Eastern despot. In 326 BC in India, at the Hydaspes River, Alexander faced King Porus and his war elephants. Alexander won, but spared Porus, letting him rule as a king. It was respect. But at the Hyphasis River, His soldiers refused to go further. For the first time, Alexander yielded. Part 6. The Return and the End. The return was brutal. The Grosian desert crossing cost tens of thousands of lives. Back in Babylon, Alexander chose the city as his new capital, and began planning the next campaign. June 323 BC. Alexander fell to fever. Dead within 10 days. He was 32. Asked who should succeed him, Alexander is said to have replied, "To the strongest." Part 7. What Alexander left behind. The empire fragmented at his death. His generals divided it. But the seeds remained. Alexandria, Antioch, Seleucia. Cities founded or expanded by Alexander. And his successors became hubs of a new connected world. Greek became the common tongue from Egypt to India. East and West began to mix. The Library of Alexandria, humanity's greatest repository of knowledge, was born in the city his dream created. In these cities, something new was born. A culture where East met West. Hellenism. In 13 years, Alexander reshaped half the world. The empire did not outlast him long. History calls him Alexander the Great. But to many he conquered. He was also a destroyer. The world he opened, East meeting West, continued as the Hellenistic Age. That comes next.